How do you multiply a fraction by a fraction? Well, you just multiply the numerators across and you multiply the denominators across. And if it's improper, you must turn it back into a mixed number, and sometimes you have to rename it by simplifying. So, for example, we'll just look at one quick model. Some of you may not prefer this, but we'll look at this model. Use my highlighter. So I have 3/10. They want us to highlight what is 2/10 of 3/10. Oh, that's not a good one. So it's 2/10 of 3/10. So in other words, it's asking, so here's 3/10, the green, and what's 2/10 of it? If you look at what overlaps, 6 of them. 600 overlap. 600 overlap. Could I have answered this without a pictorial model? You multiply the numerator across. 2 times 3 is 6. 10 times 10 is 100. So 600ths. You could simplify that to divide both numbers by 2, and you get 3/50th. So a fraction can also be looked at as a decimal. 2/10 times 3/10, that would be 600ths, and that is equivalent to 600ths, or 3/50th. So look at more examples right here. How to multiply a half of a half. If you have half of an apple or half of a cookie and you half of it, you really only ate 1/4 of it. So multiply numerator, multiply denominator. So let's look at an example if you don't see it. Here's half. Here's half. You have half of it. So that's 1/4. 3/4 of 1/2. That's 3/8. 1 times 1/2. Rewrite this whole number in a fraction form. Multiply the numerators across. 1/2. One group of 1/2 is 1/2. 3/2 times 1/2. 3/4. Multiply 3 times 1. Multiply denominator 2 times 2. What's 2 groups of 1/2? Rewrite this whole number as in fraction form. Multiply the numerators across. 2 halves, or just 1. So what do you notice about the quantity of halves? If you multiply by a number that's less than 1 whole, it gets smaller. When you multiply by 1, it stays the same. But when you multiply by a number that's greater than 1 whole, such as 3 halves and 2, the original number gets larger. So again, how do you multiply fraction? You multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. Sometimes you can turn it into a mixed number, sometimes you can simplify.